Daniel was not an impatient man. He was disciplined, precise, structured. His entire life operated on systems. He woke up every day at subah ke 5:30 baje. Cold shower, black coffee, 40 minutes of strategic reading, 30 minutes reviewing company metrics, habits, systems, control. As executive director of Harrington Technologies, Daniel had built his reputation on one core belief: success is predictable when behavior is consistent. Investors admired him, employees feared disappointing him, competitors respected him, but relationships, they never followed spreadsheets. When his aunt had suggested a blind date, he resisted. Blind dates were unpredictable variables. But he had another habit: never dismiss family. She's different, his aunt had insisted. Just meet her. So here he was, seated at a table beside the window, city lights sparkling below like scattered diamonds. At शाम के 7:06, the elevator doors opened. Conversation in the restaurant softened, not completely, but noticeably. A young woman stepped out slowly, adjusting a simple grey coat around her shoulders. Her dress was plain, no brand logo, no designer cut, slightly faded at the hem. Her shoes were clean but clearly inexpensive. She carried no luxury handbag, only a small canvas tote. Several diners glanced at her, then quickly away. Daniel felt heat rise in his collar. Please don't tell me. The hostess approached her cautiously. Reservation, Anna Petrova, she replied softly. Her voice was calm, not embarrassed, not defensive. The hostess scanned the screen, then nodded politely and led her toward Daniel's table. With each step Anna took, Daniel's corporate instincts began analyzing automatically. Clothing quality, low. Jewelry, non-visible. Confidence, moderate. Posture, upright. Eye contact, steady. His mind categorized before his heart even reacted. Then she stopped at the table. Daniel. Her eyes were not what he expected. They were clear, focused, intelligent, not the eyes of someone intimidated by luxury surroundings. Yes, he said, standing automatically. For a brief second, something unusual happened. The noise of the restaurant seemed distant. He noticed the way she stood, balanced, grounded. No nervous fidgeting. Thank you for meeting me, she said, offering a small, genuine smile. And that smile shifted something. It wasn't flirtatious. It wasn't rehearsed. It felt peaceful. They sat. The waiter approached with professional politeness. May I start you with sparkling water? Anna shook her head gently. Tap water is perfect, thank you. Daniel blinked slightly. Most women he dated used such moments to signal taste or status. She didn't. Menus arrived. She scanned it quickly, not with excitement but with efficiency. After a moment she closed it. I'll have tea, she said. Just tea? Daniel asked before he could stop himself. She looked at him directly, not offended. I try not to order more than I need, she replied. Waste becomes a habit too. That sentence lingered in the air between them. Daniel leaned back. Interesting. Tell me about yourself, he said, shifting into his usual measured tone. She folded her hands calmly on the table. I work at a bookstore in Brooklyn. And I tutor children in math and reading. He waited for more. No mention of ambitions for wealth. No dramatic personal branding. That's admirable, he said cautiously. She tilted her head slightly. And you? I run a technology firm. She nodded once. You must be disciplined. It wasn't admiration. It was observation. How do you know? Your watch, she said gently. You checked it 3 times in 5 minutes. And your posture suggests you're used to leading meetings. Daniel froze for half a second. Most people noticed his car, his suit, his title. She noticed patterns. I believe habits reveal priorities, she continued. What we repeat daily becomes who we are. The tea arrived. She thanked the waiter sincerely, making eye contact. Daniel noticed something else. She treated everyone the same. Hostess, waiter, him. No hierarchy in her tone. So, he said, leaning forward slightly, why agree to a blind date? She smiled faintly. Because comfort zones become prisons if we never step outside them. Again, unexpected depth. He studied her more carefully now. Her dress was simple, yes. But it was clean, ironed, intentional. This wasn't neglect. This was choice. Can I ask something honestly? He said. Of course. Why dress like this? For a place like this? There it was. The question hanging between social expectations. She didn't look down. Because if someone loses interest because of fabric, she said calmly, then it saves me time. Silence. Across the restaurant, a couple laughed loudly over champagne. Glasses clinked. Music floated softly from hidden speakers. Daniel felt something uncomfortable rise inside him. Recognition. Had he almost dismissed her in the first 30 seconds? Yes, because of clothing, a habit. I wasn't always disciplined, Anna continued quietly. When I first moved here, I struggled. I compared myself to everyone. I wanted to look successful before becoming successful. Her fingers wrapped gently around the warm teacup. Then I realized something. Confidence isn't clothing, it's consistency. He found himself listening more carefully than he had in years. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, she added. Daniel's eyebrow lifted. For what? To read, to think, to grow before the world interrupts me. That mirrored his own mornings almost exactly. Coincidence, or alignment? What do you read? He asked. Psychology, leadership, sometimes biographies. Of who? Anyone who built something lasting, she replied. The city lights shimmered through the window beside them. Below, traffic moved like glowing veins through Manhattan. Daniel felt his usual guarded mindset loosening. She wasn't trying to impress him. She was revealing herself. Most people think opportunity changes lives, she said softly. But it doesn't. Habits do. Opportunity just reveals them. Her words struck deeply because they echoed his own business philosophy. For the first time that evening, Daniel forgot about appearances entirely. He began asking real questions. What's your biggest goal? To open a learning center for children who can't afford tutoring. No hesitation, no mention of marrying rich. Just purpose. And suddenly, something inside him shifted. The faded dress no longer looked like poverty. It looked like independence. Around them, expensive laughter continued. Designer heels crossed marble floors. Wealth sparkled everywhere. But Daniel felt something rare. Peace. As the evening ended, he realized something unsettling. He had prepared to evaluate her. Instead, she had quietly evaluated him. And for the first time in years, Daniel Harrington walked out of a restaurant not thinking about business strategies, but about a woman in a simple grey dress who might just change the habits of his own heart. He tried to bury it in spreadsheets, in quarterly projections, in acquisition strategies, but habits are powerful, and now, he had formed a new one. Thinking about her, he hadn't texted her immediately after the date. That would break his rule of emotional control. Instead, he waited 2 days. Her reply was simple. I enjoyed our conversation. I hope your week is productive. No emojis, no chasing, no emotional pressure, just calm. That unsettled him more than attraction ever could. On Saturday morning, instead of going to his usual private gym session, Daniel did something spontaneous, something he hadn't done in years. He drove to Brooklyn. The bookstore Anna mentioned was small, nestled between a laundromat and a bakery. The sign above it was slightly faded. Nothing glamorous, nothing impressive. Yet when he stepped inside, he felt something unfamiliar. Warmth. The scent of old paper and cinnamon drifted through the air. Soft jazz played in the background. Sunlight filtered through the front window, dust particles floating like tiny stars. And there she was, sitting cross-legged on the floor beside a little boy, maybe 7 years old, holding a picture book. But the dragon wasn't scary, she was saying in a playful voice. He was just lonely. The boy giggled. Daniel froze near the entrance. This wasn't the composed woman at a rooftop restaurant. This was someone lighter, freer, real. She didn't see him. When the boy struggled with a word, she didn't correct him sharply. She guided him patiently. That's okay, she said gently. Try again. Your brain grows when it struggles. Daniel felt something tighten in his chest. Board members feared his feedback. Children grew under hers. After the boy left, thanking her shyly, she stood and dusted her hands off. That's when she noticed Daniel. Her surprise lasted only a second. You found my corner of the world, she said. No rooftop view, he replied quietly. She smiled. Better stories. He walked slowly between the bookshelves toward her. You do this every weekend? He asked. Every morning, she replied. Some parents can't afford extra help. You don't charge. She shook her head. Investment comes in different forms. He studied her. No performance. No attempt to impress him. You could do something bigger, he said almost instinctively. Open a franchise. Build a brand. She laughed softly. Why does everything have to scale? That question hit him unexpectedly. In his world, growth was everything. Scale meant success. But here, growth meant something different. They walked outside together. The Brooklyn air felt different from Manhattan. Slower, less urgent. Can I ask you something honest? He said. She nodded. Why did you really dress like that on a date? She didn't look offended. Because I wanted to see which habit was stronger, she answered calmly. Which habit? Yours or mine? He frowned slightly. You're used to evaluating value quickly. I'm used to seeing value slowly. Silence. You were testing me, he said. No, she replied gently. I was protecting myself. That landed harder than he expected. From what? From someone who falls in love with appearance instead of character. The wind moved through her braid. She tucked a loose strand behind her ear. We've seen men impressed by dresses, she continued. But I want someone impressed by discipline. Daniel exhaled slowly. I almost judged you, he admitted. I know. Her voice wasn't bitter. It was certain. You paused for exactly 3 seconds before standing up when I reached the table. He blinked. You noticed that. I notice patterns, she said. And suddenly, Daniel realized something profound. She had read him the way he reads markets. They stood there quietly for a moment. Cars passed. A dog barked across the street. Somewhere, a subway train rumbled underground. I don't usually feel uncertain, he said finally. That's good, she replied. No, it's not, he said. Uncertainty means lack of control. She looked at him deeply. Or it means growth. Her words unsettled him again. That evening, he invited her to a charity gala hosted by his company the following week in New York City. She hesitated for just a second. I'll come, she said. But I won't pretend to be someone else. I don't want you to, he answered. The gala night. The ballroom shimmered with crystal chandeliers. Designers' gowns swept across marble floors. Flashing cameras captured executives and investors. When Anna entered, Daniel felt his breath catch. She wore a simple navy dress. Elegant, but not extravagant. Her hair was styled softly. Minimal jewelry. She didn't look rich. She looked confident. And this time, when heads turned, it wasn't confusion. It was curiosity. Daniel walked toward her without hesitation. No pause. No 3-second evaluation. He extended his hand publicly. And she took it. During his speech, standing before investors and city officials, Daniel did something entirely uncharacteristic. He spoke from emotion. I built my life on discipline, he said. On measurable results. On strategy. The room listened. But I forgot something important. Habits don't just build companies. They build character. His eyes found Anna in the crowd. I recently met someone who reminded me that humility is also a discipline. That seeing beyond appearance is a habit we must practice. Mamas moved through the room. And because of her, he continued, our company will be funding a new educational initiative for underprivileged children across the city. Gasps. Board members exchanged shocked looks. This was not pre-approved. Anna's eyes widened slightly, but she remained composed. After the applause faded and the music resumed, she approached him. You didn't have to do that, she said quietly. I wanted to, he replied. Why? He looked at her with complete honesty. Because I fell in love with the way you live. The confession hung between them, heavier than champagne glasses and applause. She didn't react dramatically. She simply asked, are you ready to build something slow? For a man who built empire fast. That was the most powerful question he had ever heard. He smiled. Yes. And for the first time in his life, Daniel Harrington chose patience over speed. Because some investments aren't meant to scale quickly. Some are meant to last forever.